Let's go!
Hey everybody, Coach Scott here today. Today I want to talk to you about a poem I recently read that describes what it's like to fall into a pit. And it's an autobiography in 5 chapters by a lady named Portia Nelson. And chapter 1 goes something like this. I walk down the street, there's a deep hole in the sidewalk, and I fall in. And I'm lost. And I'm helpless. And it isn't my fault. And it takes forever to find a way out. And then chapter 2 says, I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it, and I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. But it isn't my fault. It still takes me a long time to get out. And then chapter 3 says, I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it there. I still fall in, and I realize it's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It's my fault. And I get out immediately. And then interestingly enough, in chapter 4, she says, I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. And then finally, chapter 5 says, I walk down another street. I love that. I love that poem. So the question is, what chapter, or what pit are you living in right now? What scenario has your life found you in? And I often think about stories in the Bible that relate to my own life from time to time, like the story, of Joseph, who was actually thrown into a pit, or David, who was on the run for his life, which that had to be the pits. And the Bible says that David said in Psalm 3, O Lord, how many are my foes? How many rise up against me? But you are a shield around me, O Lord. You bestow glory on me and lift up my head. I love that. That's Psalm chapter 3. And when David wrote this verse, interestingly enough, he was in a very difficult situation. In fact, he was actually running for his life from his very own son who wanted to kill him and take over the throne. Can you imagine your own child wanting to kill you? I mean, I can't even begin to think what that might have felt like, but it had to be feelings of just being overwhelmed with the thought of your own family member trying to kill you, being discouraged, being heartbroken from that type of betrayal. And David was definitely in a pit. There's no question about that. But notice that David didn't just cry out to the Lord about all of his problems, and he didn't just cry out and make all these excuses about falling in the pit and being in this season of his life. What he began to do is speak words of life and faith when he said, but you, God, are a shield around me. And he made a choice to own what he was facing, and he knew that God would protect him. You see, it's very important to understand and remember that no matter what pit in life you find yourself in today, no matter what your circumstances are right now, God is working behind the scenes for our good. You may have a broken relationship right now that's just painful to you, but remember, God can restore it. You may have a financial need that's just been weighing on you heavily, but remember, God is a provider. And you may have gotten a bad medical report, but remember, God is the great physician. He is a healer. And things may look impossible today, but with God, all things are possible. And I believe that all things are possible to those that believe and then act on that belief. You got to act. You can't just believe. You have to act on what you believe. So if you find yourself in a pit of life today, you need to keep that constant attitude of faith and victory and hope, and watch God provide for you. Watch God protect you, and watch Him turn it around even late in the midnight hour. And if you'll do that, I believe and declare you will be all that you were created to be. God bless you guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.